All right, you're taking me inside. Okay, and where are we? Tell me as we're walking into the house.
We are in the Germantown neighborhood of Louisville, Kentucky. It's an old neighborhood. This house was built in 1910 and it's a shotgun type, which means you can fire a shotgun through the front door.
I just learned about shotgun houses today.
All right.
Pretty amazing.
All right, boys, go ahead. Say hey.
Hi.
Stay down.
Hey.
That's Hank.
Hey, Hank. Say hi to everybody.
All right.
Hey. It smells good in here.
Yep.
Woo.
Suzanne.
Woo.
And carrot preserves.
Hi, how are you?
Apple butter.
So you guys make everything?
Not everything. Some stuff. We're getting better.
Smells great.
And I mean, it's kind of picking those things that are either going to mean a whole lot to you, or it's something that the industrial food system just can't do it. So one of the things I love to make is sauerkraut. And the sauerkraut that you get at the store is just a bastardization of that product. And I have German heritage, and it's incredibly important to me, so I started toying around with it just because, you know, the last people in my family that did it were my great-grandparents. And that knowledge was lost.
That's
so
right.
I kind of feel like it was robbed from me, so I kind of...
So they didn't teach you when you were a kid? Oh, okay.
So I kind of relearned myself. I started doing a lot of kraut. I ended up teaching a class at Spalding University for some kraut, and then I did some kimchi with my kiddos at school last year. And
so you teach a class called let's get that name correct again.
The class that I teach is called Global Issues.
Okay.
It's looking
and
at
it's
food,
high
water,
school.
energy. Yeah.
Okay.
And kind of its modern impact. And then at the same time, I do a lot of projects just trying to connect that circle of sustainability. So we run an institutional composting system and developed an internship with the nonprofit Breaking New Grounds. I work with 21st Century Parks, just reconnecting kids with nature. We've been working with a grant for the Center for Disease Control. We've put in 25 school gardens throughout Jefferson County Public Schools using student labor, which has been fantastic. I've been able to teach them all the hands-on skills. And then we have a cooking club. So we just finished our first major catering job for 100 people. And we were able to feed 100 people for under $5 a head, with sourcing 90% of everything locally.
So locally from the local farms nearby.
So apple cider that was processed locally, apples from the local orchard, local hams, local dairy.
Organic for the most part, or not all?
The majority, but I mean, a lot of the times when I'm shooting for those things, I'm just trying to get kids to cook. That's number one. And if I can make it local, that's fantastic. I'm trying to make it organic, but I mean, that's kind of going down the line. Just getting these kids fed with something that's not trash, that's been reheated 3 or 4 times, is one of the main priorities for them.
Wow, this is amazing. I can't believe that we stumbled upon you, because this is a big passion of mine, just, you know, what we've been doing to our food. It's so genetically processed now that...
And it affects everybody. And I mean, like you were saying, I mean, it's the obesity epidemic, this diabetes epidemic. I mean, the fact that we had to rename a disease from adult onset to type 2 because within the past 10 years so many kids have been getting this. It's absolutely mind-blowing. But yeah.
Hang on, I just want to take a little peek over here and see, because we're both foodies here. We were just talking about that.
These are the pear preserves.
Yummy. Oh my God.
And then that's
amazing. And what is this?
Apple butter.
Huh. Yeah, your stove definitely looks like there's been apple butter going on in this. Oh my God, it's everywhere.
So you guys are friends with Seamus? These are friends with Seamus?
Yeah, I know Seamus.
Yeah, he's a friend. That's great.
Oh my God, so what's happening in here?
This is English muffin bread.
Oh my God, it's amazing. So tell me about this Thanksgiving thing. We were just talking about this in the back.
Well, it was last year. Pat is a buddy I grew up with back in PA, and he spent 2 years in Moldova with the Peace Corps. Don't worry about it, don't grab it. But when he came back, he kind of had to decide where to go. So I was having a blast in Louisville, so we decided to come out here, and we bought the house next door, which is pretty sweet. But we decided that it was too short of a time to go home for Thanksgiving. Excuse me, baby. So we decided to make Thanksgiving here and kind of just.
And you said it was from 90% of everything that you're actually growing.
Stuff here. They did an article in it in a magazine called Edible Louisville.
Okay, I know of Edible Louisville.
Yeah,
I love it.
It had our recipes in it and stuff like that. But I had 2 ducks running around.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost got that on camera too.
Right.
The flying bread. That could have been the title of the video.
But yeah, we had 2 Peking ducks which we butchered. And then the sauerkraut, the cabbages from here, and fermented that here. And I grew some corn out in the farm in Shelby and brought that in, and potatoes that I grew out in the front row.
So what else is in the front? I mean, we saw some corn.
We can walk out there.
You want to head out there?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to go back this way? We're heading back out.
Jane, are you cool in here? Uh-oh.
We're still rolling. This is the back garden. Unbelievable. There's like a lot of stuff going on in a really, really small space. So just tell us really quick before we go to the front what you're growing out here.
All right, we have 2 10x10 beds here. In those beds, I tried to do a lot of succession planting and just put in as much as we can. So in those beds is asparagus, and I interplant between those rows, and we have peanuts in there. I pulled about 100 pounds of potatoes out of there. We have cushaw, we have birdhouse gourds, loofah gourds, we have black-eyed peas, we have Kentucky Wonder green beans, we have some hardy kiwis, which are perennial vines.
And this is the loofah you were saying,
the loofah
right?
right there.
Okay.
So we also have some cherry tomatoes in there, and then some other hybrids.
But this is sort of before, you know, what we saw back here.
Out to be the,
yeah, so when it gets, and this, I'm sorry, what are we passing here?
This is a birdhouse gourd.
Birdhouse gourd, okay. This is,
those are all grapevines up along here.
Real quick, I wanted to see that end result loofah. So this is what we just saw, the green. It turns into this.
Right, and you can either cut it lengthways or width, and you end up getting that pattern in a little round.
Oh, interesting.
Or you can cut it that way, and it's something that you would put in your shower. If you want to, you could take it and plant it in California, the really vigorous vines.
Okay, thank you. All right, hey chickens, we're just saying hello to you. And turkeys over here on our way out.
Yeah. One of the cool things I didn't know about turkeys before I started is that their heads change color depending on what the mood they're in. So you see how they're kind of pale now? If they get scared or if they get all riled up, their faces start to change.
Because it's like a reddish color now, right?
So it's kind of pale right now. They'll get really red. And one of the fun things is when they're in a talkative mood, they'll actually talk to you.
And what do they say?
Mainly turkey noises.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello there. Don't be afraid. This is just a camera.
Let me feed them really quick. They'll come alive.
Uh-oh. Did you understand that word fed? I know when dogs hear that word fed, food, anything related, they kind of go nuts.
All right. I'm gonna sneak by you here.
All right.
What's up, guys?
Do they have names? You gotta name your...
Nope.
No names?
I don't name any of my animals.
Oh no.
Except for the dog.
No names for these little turkeys.
No, I don't like to put the names on because...
You get attached.
You're gonna need to butcher one of them or...
And then you have to, yeah, that's sad.
So,
yeah.
I was actually doing some butchering on the side for people. A lot of people,
I couldn't do
especially
it.
in the East End, they get these chickens and they turn out to be roosters, or they just need to get rid of it, and they don't want to do it. So they call me, and
I would not want to do it.
And chickens and ducks and all sorts of different stuff. So earlier this year, with the chickens that I got from the elementary school teacher, about half of them turned out to be roosters. So I set up a table over there and we butchered them, and then we immediately took them inside, took all the meat off, put it in the meat grinder, and stuffed chicken sausages and spiced them with herbs from all around the property.
God.
So we have those in the freezer right now, which are really
This smells better than probably what my dinner's going to be tonight.
Where are you going?
Going to Jack Fry's.
All right.
All right, I'm being taken there. I can't wait. It's
another place to check out is a restaurant called Harvest. Have you heard about this?
I have. I even met the
Ivor.
Igor, I love him.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's a fantastic guy.
Yeah, and he told me to come in, so I'm...
So this is called, it's an Italian zucchini, but it'll grow and be about this long.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have another crucial in here. This is the Jerusalem artichoke. It'll have bulbs, kind of like a potato, except it's related to the sunflower.
Yeah, I was just going to say, very much looks like it's in the sunflower family.
We have blackberries and raspberries in there. Chocolate mint, strawberry, beans in the back.
Chocolate mint?
Mm-hmm. You can tear a leaf off and...
Which one is it?
This is strawberry, this is chocolate mint. If you grab right there.
Mm-mm. Oh my God! I can eat it, right?
Yep.
It's going in.
Hyacinth bean. And one of the things...
Oh my God, that's good.
This is the second year growing hops. So when we grow our own beer, we can use local hops too. And if you take
very
this
cool. Okay.
and kind of feel like you're on a Budweiser commercial, you can kind of take it and crush it.
Okay.
And take a good whiff of that.
Oh my God, it smells awesome.
Yep.
So do you know, with some of this stuff, I mean, I live in Northern California, can I grow this, or is it too cold to grow some of this?
I don't know Northern California. The only place in California I've ever been was Rancho Cucamonga outside of LA for my brother's wedding, which was probably one of the most depressing places that I've ever been.
I agree.
But this is horseradish here.
Okay.
So I yanked out some of the first roots off of that this year, and it is potent, which is awesome. Tomatoes on the hillside. This is southernwood. It's a natural insect repellent. So if you rub that on yourself, just kind of take a whiff of that.
Okay.
But if you rub that on yourself,
for the camera, but okay.
The bugs will stay away. In doing research on a lot of these plants, this one is one of the more interesting histories. It used to be called Lad's Love or Maid's Ruin because they used it as a seduction agent during the medieval ages.
Really?
But if you start to think about it logically, a guy without bugs would be pretty attractive.
Right.
So maybe that's why.
Now, and behind you, this is corn or not?
This is popcorn.
Okay, popcorn.
So it isn't worth me growing sweet corn or #2 dent corn or any of that stuff. So I grew popcorn this year, and I've been doing a trial right now whether it's better to let it stay on the stalk and then pull it off or let it dry in the garage. So we've been popping popcorn, and it's absolutely amazing.
Yummy. Love it.
Pulling it right off. And one of the really cool things is when I get home from work, I pull dinner right out of the yard, and it just tastes totally different. I mean, a potato right out of the ground is totally different than one that's been sitting around for a month or two that you get out of the supermarket. And something simple like a potato that you wouldn't think would be any different is.
So what I want to know here is this tobacco?
That's tobacco.
It looks like tobacco to me.
I grow at least one tobacco plant every year. I made chew last year. I built a tobacco press and then layered the leaves with bourbon and honey and made a disc out of it. And it was great, except my body doesn't do well with tobacco.
Well, my body doesn't do well with bourbon, I learned a few nights ago.
Oh, bummer.
It tastes, well, I just drank too much of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the locals said, oh, Renee, you can drink as much as you want. This is pure.
But here I have some leeks that I just haven't harvested yet. There are peas coming up, so we're constantly in transition from season to season. So
I'm just amazed at what you've done in such a small space.
yeah, I've kind of outgrown it.
Yeah.
If you run into anybody that wants to fund a person to get some land. So we have peppers all throughout here. The peppers have actually been blasting since the weather has changed.
I think you should talk to your neighbors and grow it on their land. And
yeah. One of the things I'm trying to do here, I have the peas coming up in between the corn. I'm trying to get the peas to grow up the corn, so it's just constantly trying to have that cycle. I try to grow beans up, corn stalks this year, like the Native American Three Sisters, which in some of the places have turned out really well, some of the places not as well. And I'm pretty sure this is one of the cooler varieties. riders.
As we have a major plane going overhead.
Yeah, we're not too far from the airport.
And what are those that you've got?
Just beans.
Not black-eyed beans like we saw in the
Nope.
back.
Oop.
Woo! And you can eat them raw like that?
Yeah.
All
Go
right.
for it.
Ooh, can't wait. Oh, cool. Yummy.
So more tomatoes, Artemisia wormwood. This, I don't know if you can see it, but that pepper plant right there
Yeah.
with the white and green leaves, it's called a fish pepper. It was bred by a former slave that was on the East Coast in the Chesapeake region. And he bred it specifically for fish dishes. But it has a partial albino gene in it, which kind of makes everything look tie-dyed on it.
I'm sorry, you said, and it was brought over from, it was grown.
It was bred, so kind of as, you know, people have different needs for different varieties of plants, you can kind of control what pollinates with what and what traits you want to encourage.
Woo.
So here we had some basil, we had another type of frilly purple basil there. We had some stevia. So if you've ever had Splenda, this is what it's made from. You can
It
go
smells
ahead and
great.
taste that.
I can eat that?
Yep.
Can I swallow it?
Yep.
I'm not gonna like die and keel over at Jack Fry's tonight, am I?
No.
Okay.
So this is tobacco. Once I cut it, it started growing back. And that's salvia, which has just been an amazing plant for bringing in pollinators.
And then once you get that, so that's the tobacco there, you're hanging it here to dry.
Right. I let that flower out just because I think it's an incredibly beautiful plant.
It is. Yeah, it's one of the things that kind of drew me up here, actually.
And one of the crazy things is that a lot of these old timers that walk by, I had tobacco growing here last year in these tires. It was about 8 foot tall with big flowers on it.
I mean, it definitely made us stop, I gotta say.
But
And
the
here
old
we are.
timers never knew what the flowers on the tobacco looked like because they always pick the flowers off so all the energy goes to the weeds. How adventurous are
Any
you right now?
cucumbers?
I didn't do cucumbers this year. I had a really bad time with bacterial wilt and cucumber bugs.
Huh.
So if something really gets nailed one year, I don't do it the next year. How adventurous are you right now?
Well, if there's a snake, don't show me.
No.
Nothing
snakes.
live, nothing.
This is called a toothache plant.
All right.
It's from Brazil.
Okay.
It does some really interesting things with your mouth.
Uh-oh.
Do you want to try it?
I'm not sure. I want to see you try it.
All right. I'll even take the big one.
All right. All right, what happens? Tell me what happens.
What it does is it has a really citrusy flavor, and then it makes your mouth kind of numb and gives you pins and needles
Ooh.
and makes you salivate a lot.
Okay, I'm not sure I want that.
All right.
Now
I would
if you-
encourage you to try it if you never have.
Okay, maybe I'll come back, like when I'm not about ready to go eat for 3 hours.
It only lasts for like 5 minutes, but some people really like it, some people don't.
And why do people do this? Just curious.
I put them in teas,
Okay.
and what it does is adds a really good pop to it. Some people in Brazil also use it for a mouthwash.
So it's from Brazil originally, and
Yeah.
it's interesting that it grows in this climate without a problem.
Yeah. But
Well, this is awesome.
Thank you.
Do you have anything online where people can sort of, you know, even if it's not...
I had a blog for a while,
Okay.
but I haven't kept up with it. I've been really busy with school. just all
And
sorts of
what about a site where people can learn more about sustainable food and living and...
Mother Earth News is an amazing resource.
Okay.
But I mean, what I tell anybody, if you're interested in something, just start reading about it. Go on Google, just type it in, and you're gonna find so much. And talk to old people.
I love that advice. I absolutely love that advice. And I think it's really great what you're doing with kids to try and get them interested in cooking.
Well, I mean, so many of them have not been genuinely engaged in their life. And if you can provide that opportunity, they're gonna jump on it. And once you get that going, I mean, it's gonna be a lifelong endeavor for them to learn.
And life-changing, and hopefully make sure that the next generation is not as sick as the current one.
Or screwed out of their heritage.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. This has been like such a treasure.
definitely.
Okay.